Jai Hind दोस्तों, I am advocate Shivashish Karnani. Now, in many cases, a taxable person is dealing in exempt supplies. So, let us say I am a supplier of books, and these books are not liable to GST because these are academic books and these books don't attract any GST. Now, fortunately or unfortunately, I receive supplies from goods transport agency who help me to transport these books from one place to another, as in these books are transported to, let us say, a school, and this goods transport agency charges me certain amount for this transportation services. Now this goods transport agency specifically says that I will not charge any tax and you will be required to charge the tax if in case applicable. Now, any service which has been received from a goods transport agency is liable to tax on reverse charge basis. Basically, it means that the person who is receiving those services is liable to pay the tax. The problem here is that since I am engaged in exempt supplies wherein there is no liability of mine to pay any GST, however, because of the fact that I have received certain services from a person whose services are liable to be taxed under reverse charge, accordingly, I am supposed to pay the taxes on reverse charge. Now, this tax which is being paid by me, first of all, it becomes a cost because since there is no GST on my outward supplies, this the tax which has been paid by me on reverse charge basis will not be utilized in any manner, and accordingly it is going to become my cost. Second thing, even when section 23 specifically allows me a exemption from obtaining GST registration, wherein it says that a person who is engaged wholly in exempt supplies of goods or services will not be required to obtain any registration. This exemption will not prevail. The reason is section 24 specifically says that if a person receives any supplies which are liable to be taxed on reverse charge basis, that person is mandatorily required to take GST registration. Mind you, section 23 don't override section 24, as in section 23 don't have any notwithstanding clause. And for this reason, even though I am engaged in wholly exempt supplies, I would be required to obtain GST registration. And further, I would be required to pay GST on reverse charge basis. And for that GST, I will not be able to claim any input tax credit. For this, the government has introduced subsection 2 of section 23, which says that government on any notification exempts certain categories of person to obtain GST registration, even in a case wherein they are otherwise compulsorily required to obtain GST registration in terms of section 24. However, no such notification has been issued for persons who are engaged in wholly exempt supplies of goods, and accordingly they are still required to pay the tax on reverse charge basis, and they are still required to obtain GST registration. Follow me for more such updates.